All right, happy independence to Nigeria. Well, 6 decades and a year, that is what Nigeria is celebrating. In Nigeria's 61 years of independence, the military held sway for 29 years, while the country has practiced civil rule for 32 years. The Fourth Republic, which began from 1999 till date, is the longest period of democratic governance in Nigeria. Though it has not been a smooth ride for the country so far, it is believed that Nigeria's democracy is passing through a teething period of challenges that every big democracy faces across the world. Political analysts say one of the big gains of self-rule in Nigeria is the successful transition of power to 3 different administrations in the last 22 years. This, they say, is a testimony that democracy has come to stay in the country. But 32 years of civil rule in Nigeria also comes with its own challenges: corruption, nepotism, abuse of office, and bad leadership, all of which have threatened the stability of the polity, with some criticizing the presidential system of government for being unwieldy and expensive. Others claim the mismanagement of the country's diversity by the political elite has led to calls for secession and is responsible for the insecurity tearing the nation apart. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari is now warning the elites to stop misguiding the youths and sponsoring agitations for a breakaway of the country. Let's listen to him. All right, well, I've been told that is not yet available. Well, joining me to analyze Nigeria 61 years after independence is Sam Nkere, a veteran journalist, author, and chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. He's also joined by Gambo Lawan, former chairman of the Grassroots Democratic Movement, and also ex-chairman of the Warri Refinery and Petrochemical company. They join me live in the studio here. And also joining us from our offsite studio is Honourable Mikko, a former member of the House of Representatives. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I would like to start with you, Sam Nkere. Nigeria at 61. What are your views on the journey to nationhood so far? And this calls for national unity, national interest to prevail in the midst of the challenges that have befallen the country. And we have a President Muhammadu Buhari warning the elites to be guided in how they conduct their affairs, because the federal government is not happy with the recent issues that are coming up, that some elites are actually sponsoring some youths.
Thank you very much. It's really unfortunate that the elite that constitute the leadership of this nation, they lead not just politicians, elites, some are pastors, some are traditional rulers. Instead of preaching peace and unity, some put out utterances that will inflame the already bad situation. So I think that that warning or advice came at a good time, because we must put the interests of Nigeria first. There is every need for anybody in a leadership position to see it as a duty. You don't have to be president or governor or a senator to, contribute to your quota in helping to ensure that there is peace. It's not politicians. You see, this is the beauty, one of the beauties of democracy. Timeline for politicians to stay in office.
That's the holding of elections.
That's the holding of elections.
Very interesting. Okay.
So I see we miss it when we are lackadaisical, when we are careless, when we lose interest in the polity or political processes.
Because they lose elections.
You lose election, or even the voter, he doesn't care about asking questions.
Okay, very interesting. Let's hear the views of Gambo Lawan on these issues. National issues, Nigeria at 61. And what did you make of the president's overall speech to the nation?
Well, thank you, Sambo. First of all, every Nigerian president make a speech by October 1st because that has been our Independence Day. We assess and analyze what progress have we made as a nation. Where are we yesterday? To what level have we reached to? Are we in a better place as we were from independence, or we're still static or even worse? Now, let me tell you in realistic terms, since independence to today, we have many military head of states and presidents. Believe you and me, many of them have failed us, even though some are good. And the political class have used religion, sectionalism, geography to their advantage since pre and post-independence.
Yeah, but in overall, from the president's speech, you could hear him actually lamenting that.
Yeah, I hear him lamenting.
But a lot of people say he was not voted in to lament, it's to provide solutions.
He's supposed to provide solutions. At the same time, he has to suggest ways and means of solving those solutions, because the major part of the solution relies on him, and of which he is trying to tell us that he is going to own his own bid. You know, this thing involves not only the president himself, it involves all of us, you and me, as a Nigerians. You know, our major problem at this point in time is our division. We're sharply divided as a nation. I was trying to tell
which a lot of people say that the president also has to be blamed, but I would just ask you to hold on.
The president cannot be blamed for division, but we as a citizen,
well, because of his rhetoric. But I would like to bring Honourable Mikko in so that we will have his own views on the president's speech. So, Honourable Mikko, what did you make of the president's speech when it has to do with the issue of, you know, providing jobs, employment, and all of that? Because that's what Nigerians say that they want.
You see, Sambo, every Nigerian president in the past 61 years of independence scores himself high during this yearly ritual. I think what is important to me is not what the president says now, because this president means well, but what is actually happening in the polity. You see, Nigerians are frustrated. Looking 61 years back, the countries like India, Indonesia, Ghana, Nigeria is not doing well, comparatively. So what Nigerian wants is action rather than rhetoric. This president has been known to have taken giant strides in bringing the country to the fore, but Nigerians are despondent over the years, 61 years after, of how we can catch up with countries like Ghana, Indonesia, and all these other countries that we started together. I think that, for me, that is the most important thing. Why we support this president and stop all these divisions, these rhetorics, you know, by politicians. We have allowed the polity for too long for politicians to set the pace for what is going to happen for our economic agenda, our political agenda, and our social agenda. I think what we should do, we should, as a National Interest Forum, we want to galvanize the society so that the people itself will set their own agenda on how we should move forward as a country.
When you talk about the national interest and then you're talking about a group which represent the National Interest Forum, a lot of Nigerians said that the national interest is usually determined by the government in power, most times for regime security, not for national security. What do you make of that this government is trying to protect itself rather than protect the country, and that's why we've had issues of insecurity?
Are you The interest of Nigeria is aggregation of various interest groups, not naturally the power of government. Nigerian people own the government. The government is not owned by individuals. You know, we form the government. The people, the power of the state resides with the people. So it is we, for the first time, who have to now set an agenda for discourse, not for politicians alone. If we allow, we have for 61 years, we have allowed political parties to set the agenda, and it has led us where we are today. Because if you allow this, there's no independent candidature in our constitution. If you allow this, the two political parties can choose people they like in any way. And once they win, then the business elites will now key into it. So we want Nigerians to take up for the first time how their country should be governed. They set the agenda for national discourse of how and where we should go, not to allow politicians to set the discourse. I think that is the main aim of the national interest. Your interest, my interest, interest of every Nigerian should be represented, not set by a particular political class.
All right, very interesting indeed. We just have to go on a short break. When we come back, I will continue with my guests here in the studio. Stay with us on the Rise News. You're still watching This Week, where we bring to you the best of analysis and conversations. I'm Sumner Sambo. And now we'll go on to President Muhammadu Buhari's speech during that October 1st Independence Day anniversary.
We shall continue to work on dialogue-based solutions to address legitimate grievances, but we remain ready to take decisive actions against secessionist agitators and their sponsors who threaten our national security. The recent arrests of Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Adeyemo and the ongoing investigations being conducted have revealed certain high-profile financiers behind these individuals. We are vigorously pursuing these financiers, including one identified as a serving member of the National Assembly.
Well, challenges are part of nationhood, the growth in the nationhood. There is no country that does not have challenges. Even democracies that have existed in the last 300 years are still confronted with challenges.
Right, President Muhammadu Buhari there and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Apparently, the President is angry that the national interest is being jeopardized by certain groups of individuals. And he mentioned that there's a serving member of the National Assembly. But why in promoting national interest didn't President Buhari name the member of the National Assembly? Because a lot of people keep saying that this government keeps claiming that they are sponsors of terrorism, they are sponsors of this and that, yet they don't mention names. Gambo, let's...
Thank you very much, Sabo. I mean, first of all, quickly, I forgot to do in the first place, congratulate Nigerians on our 61 independence, well, and I wish that us a better future and better life.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been very fantastic for President to mention it. But in any case, it seems like we're definitely going to know, because that person, whoever that is arrested as a member of the National Assembly, has to be taken to the courts or somewhere for us to identify who exactly he is. That is per se. What brought about all this in the first place? Because of our sharp division as a nation. We are deeply rooted in division. Look at it, right from independence, forget about independence, right from independence today, parties and governments were made sectionally. Northern region, southern region, whatever. That was how the British left us. And then now, we continuously, after creating 36 states, so many presidents and head of states have come and gone. Some have done wrong, some have done right. But whichever way it is the fault of our division that caused us to start having wrong people. All those presidents, head of state, they came from all the zones of the 6 zones of Nigeria.
And yet, we still don't have
the wrong has gone wrong.
So what is the problem? I'm
going quickly. When you start to agitate that the governors' meeting of the North and South, that zoning has to come this way, that's complete. The fact remains is that if you begin to say my countryman, my village man, my this one, my religion, who cares about your religion? Who cares about your ethnicity? Who cares about geographical location? All what we care is we're Nigerians. We are one Nigerian. And we should unite and look at a credible leader that has merited, who has the capacity, who can deliver, to look at, not to be think of that, this north, this now.
Oh,
as long as we continue to do that, we have division and it will not help Nigeria in any sense.
Let's have your view on that, yes. Especially on those promoters of secession. We have agitations in the southwest. We have agitations in the east of the country for, you know, a separate country and all of that. What do you think is at the heart of this, and what exactly should be Nigeria's national interest in trying to calm all these frayed nerves?
Good. On the path of the leaders, not just President Warri, who's lasted just 6 years. We are 61 as an independent country. And I was looking at an array of photographs of our past leaders, from Tafawa Balewa to Aguiyi to Gowon and to Buhari. When you look at all of them, if you want to be truthful, if you want to be frank, you will as you look at those pictures, you will know that these are the people that got us to where we are.
And what is the role of Nigerians in all of that?
Nigerians are not participating in the discourse. They are not participating enough. You go and stand on the line to vote. After voting, you discover that the people majority, the majority voted for is not sworn in as the winner. You go home. You don't do anything. I'm not calling for insurrection. I'm not calling for crisis. But a voter should speak out. Now we've had elections. We have had elections that turned out to bring, give out a result that we didn't expect. In fact, somebody
so it leads to anger and a lot of people.
We do nothing about it. Okay. The reason why we are part of this forum, the National Interest Forum, is to sensitize people, to ask people to know their rights and take their rights.
Okay, and I want to ask you, what is the national interest of Nigeria?
National interest of Nigeria, national interest first, that is of Nigeria, is being a nationalist.
Unity.
Being a citizen of Nigeria.
But can there be a nationalist when there's issue of lack of justice, lack of equity, and then the allegations of nepotism?
Excuse me, Sambo, when there is no problem, why will you have to think about solving it? Because there are issues, there are problems. We're sharply divided. We're in shambles. And as long as we allow this thing to continue, Nigeria will continue to be divided. My children, great-children, great-grandchildren will still suffer the same thing that we are suffering now.
Can we ever have a leader who is a nationalist, sure, who comes to the center and forgets where he comes from?
I am a nationalist now, as I'm telling you. And that's why we formed what is called the National Interest Forum. National Interest Forum is to bring about, to explain to a citizen of Nigeria about their rights, about who to choose, and about educate them in the process of their life, because the masses, the general public, have been left behind.
Okay.
So therefore, what national interest is going to do is to go around, explain to Nigerians, and then tell them their rights, and then they have to take their destiny.
We just have to take
I want to finish quickly.
Okay, very quickly before I get to Honourable Mikko, because we're about running off.
You know, and then because the worst enemy we have is if we get out of this even thing that we can sell. The only thing we sell in this country to the world is our diversity, our strength.
Okay,
you know,
I just have to bring Honourable Mikko in before we end this segment. So Honourable Mikko, you have been listening to this. A lot of Nigerians are already saying that the Northern Governors Forum and the Southern Governors Forum is already a platform for division, that these two platforms should be dissolved and allow only the Nigerian Governors Forum to be in existence. What's your view about that, especially as these two groups begin to canvass for the 2023 presidency that is yet to be here?
I don't think there will be any group will be successful in dissolving any particular group, either they are protesting or they are agitating in Nigeria. The president made in his speech about agitations and protests and all that. These things are legitimate demand, but the one that is of concern to Nigerians is using force to coerce violence, to intimidate other people to agree to your own point of view. I think that is where the problem lies. And if you look back, look at what the president also said. He spoke about dialogue. And we are here to tell Nigerians that the dialogue for which has been going on over the years has been left for the politicians. to set the agenda. The national agenda, the
I
national
just have
interest
to cut in now
of
because we don't
is
have
peace.
enough time.
I have to say I am the chairman.
We just have to end this at this moment. We must thank you, Sam Nkire, for joining us on the show, and then Gambo Lawan, who has been with us, and Honourable Bernard Mikko. They are all of the National Interest Forum, which is pursuing Nigeria's interests first. And we just wish you well as the nation celebrates its 61st anniversary.